The man was originally a kind doctor, but when many patients came to his clinic to buy medicine, he poured the medicine out right in front of them. No matter how the patients begged, he wouldn't sell them even a single bottle. In fact, the man wasn't born this cruel. The reason he did this was entirely because of the mistakes these patients had made themselves. Just 1 year earlier, the man was just a doctor in a small clinic. That day, a female patient named Mary suddenly came to his clinic. It turned out that the man had recently developed a special medicine to treat cancer, and Mary was a late-stage cancer patient. She came hoping the man could sell her the medicine, but the man refused her, because he believed the drug hadn't gone through approval and testing yet, and selling it would be against the law. When the man opened the clinic's door, he saw a crowd of patients standing outside. They were all late-stage cancer patients, hoping the man could sell them the medicine. Seeing how weak they looked, the man felt great sympathy for them. Not only did he agree to sell the medicine, he even set the price at the cost, $30 a bottle. This act saved their lives, but what the man didn't know was that this would be the most regrettable decision of his life. 1 year later, the man was selling medicine to the patients as usual. Unexpectedly, Mary brought a new patient with her. She told the man that this was her friend Linda. Linda's mother had recently fallen ill, so she hoped to get medicine here. Although the man had some doubts, for the sake of saving lives, he still gave Linda a bottle of medicine. But suddenly, Linda pulled out handcuffs. It turned out that Linda's real identity was a police officer. She had received a report that fake medicine was being sold here illegally, which was why she came. The man couldn't believe his eyes. Of course, he knew the ones who reported him were Mary and those patients, but he couldn't understand why they would do this. When faced with the man's questioning, the patients instead claimed that the man was too selfish. They said his medicine was too expensive. A bottle cost as much as $30. My God, these foolish patients had no idea that $30 was already the lowest price possible. The man was furious. He never expected these patients to be so cold-blooded and heartless. Now, he had no choice but to follow Linda to the police station. After hearing that the man was taken to the police station, Smith, the president of another pharmaceutical company, was overjoyed. The reason these patients reported the man was largely because Smith encouraged them to. Smith even promised Mary that as long as they got the man into the police station, he would provide these patients with free medicine. With Smith's promise, Mary happily left. In reality, Smith had deceived Mary and the patients. He never intended to give them free medicine. He only did it to get the man's formula. After the man spent a few days in the police station, his friend bailed him out. As he was about to return to his clinic, he suddenly found a huge crowd at the entrance. It turned out they were the same patients from before, along with reporters there to cover the story. The patients accused the man of selling fake medicine. They told the reporters the man had scammed all their money and demanded he pay them back immediately. Facing the cameras, the man exposed the patients' lies. He then said if they wanted him to pay them back, then they should return the medicine he had sold them. Hearing his words, the guilty patients fell silent. Those life-saving medicines had long been consumed, so there was no way to return them, and that farce came to an end. That night, President Smith arranged to meet the man. He said he was willing to pay $10 million to buy the man's formula, but the man didn't hesitate at all and directly refused Smith. He believed that for the sake of this formula, Smith had treated so many lives as a joke. He refused to work with such a company, and Smith represented big pharmaceutical capital. If they got the formula, their greed would surely drive the price even higher. After refusing Smith, the man turned and left. But an enraged Smith was determined to take revenge. He secretly encouraged those patients to sue the man in court. Soon came the day of the court hearing. The man showed up as scheduled. Facing the patient's false accusations and the police's questioning, the man responded calmly. He also produced a very critical piece of evidence. He brought out the formula and told the judge that according to the formula, the cost of one bottle was $29. All these years, not only had he not earned a penny, but he couldn't even afford rent and utilities. To verify whether the formula was genuine, the police invited a senior professor from the medical university. The professor was shocked the moment he saw it. This seemingly ordinary formula turned out to be an ancient formula lost for many years, and its value was at least $2 billion. After hearing the professor's words, everyone present was stunned, but Smith still argued that although this was an ancient formula, it didn't prove a definite connection between it and the patient's recovery. In response to this doubt, the man produced the medical records of the patients present. After carefully reviewing the records, the professor confirmed that they were real, and the man's medicine truly had an effect. Thanks to the man's careful preparation, he successfully won the lawsuit. But Smith, unwilling to accept defeat, declared that his company was already copying copying the man's medicine, and soon enough, the man's formula would be nothing but a worthless piece of paper. Facing this new scheme, how will the man deal with it?